Hi, welcome. Hope Zvara here, creator of Core Functional Fitness, and I'm here to take you through a practice this morning. So whether you're a newbie to yoga or movement in general, or you're a seasoned practitioner, I hope you find this flow enjoyable and fun. My style is a little bit unique. I focus a lot on form and function, a lot on core integration, but most importantly, I give a lot of detailed instruction because I want you to be safe at home because I can't be there with you today. All right, let's begin. Find Tadasana. So feet are going to be forward. Outer edges of the feet parallel with the outer edges of the mat. Rolling the thigh bones in or out so that the knee slits on the back so the knees point straight back. Now pelvic neutral, pubis bone, hip bones run parallel with that front wall. Rib cage relaxes down. Nice. So just noticing now your body's length and then chin level with the earth. Great. Feel your feet anchor into the mat. Now on the inhalation, hugging the midline of your body, contracting through your bathroom muscles and core. I want you to lean your pelvis forward. I'm going to turn sideways. Lean your pelvis forward, bring your fist to your sacrum, pull the elbows in, and lean back with your torso. And then slowly come back up. Nice. Inhale. Exhale, pelvic floor contracts. Inhale. Press down on the sacrum. Pelvis leans forward as you lean back. Chin is down. And then slowly come back up. So I'm only leaning as far back as my pelvis comes forward. One more time, deep breath in. Pelvis down, contract, exhale, pull the elbows in, inhale, a little bend in the knees if you're tight, and then slowly come back up again. Awesome. All right, keeping the feet parallel, I'll stay sideways for you. Neutral. Inhale through the nose, hip hinge, let's go for a hamstring stretch. Exhale, only going as far. I'm using my hands, actually pulling out on my thigh muscles to keep my back long. So I'm focusing really solely on my hamstrings. Inhale through the nose, no gripping with the toes. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, play with your body weight, forward or back. Does that change the stretch? Now bend your knees deeply. Drop your arms behind your hamstrings. Drop your head. Take a couple deep breaths. Bend your knees. Roll yourself up. Nice. Using your core. Fist to sacrum. Let your hips lean forward. Pull your elbows in as you lean back. And then slowly come back upright. Awesome. Let's step to the top of the mat. Finding your feet, get into Tadasana. Line yourself up just like we did previously. Pelvis is in neutral. Slight bend in the knees. Slight contraction in the glutes. Draw your hips forward as you extend up and back. I call this functional extension. Exhale, drop it down as you slowly lengthen the legs. Nice. Only allowing yourself to come to the point where you can keep the back muscles long. Now bend your knees, step back with your right foot. Back knee to the mat, uncurl the toes. Press the top of the back foot into the mat. Spring yourself off the floor and level your hips. So if your hip flexor is tight, you're going to be crooked. Level it out, keep your lower core strong, press firmly into the front foot as you lean forward, pushing into that front foot. So lots of length through your right groin, extend your arms up, dropping your front ribs down. Now if you're noticing any sacral issues, I want you to keep rolling your front thigh out and down. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Exhale, drop the hands to the floor. Walk your front foot slightly forward. Lengthen the leg, flex the foot, move into a nice little half split. Square the hips and keep the foot flexing. Lots of length in the spine. The goal is not nose to knee. The goal is to create space, both through the hamstring calf and through the spine. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale, push forward, runner's lunge. Step back by lifting your hips up and bringing the foot back into Planksasana. Fingertips go wide, slide the shoulders back. Fold of the elbows, turn forward without cupping the hands off the floor. This is a lot of rebuilding forearm muscle and wrist strength. Spread the fingers wide, lift the ribs, lift the hip bones. Lengthen now, pressing through your heels and reaching through your crown. Knees to the mat, exhale. Move your hips back, reach your arms forward, give it a good stretch. Inhale, walk your arms to the right, press your hips to the left, stretch your side body. Inhale, come through center, press your hips and reach. Take a good breath. Inhale, come back to center, spread your fingertips. Now contract the pelvic floor. Come up through a rounding cat pose. Curl your toes under, now spinal neutral. Lift the ribs with the hip bones and lift the knees 1 inch up off the mat. Pressing again into all 5 knuckles on each hand. Folds of the elbows forward. Watch hyperextension. So pelvic floor, bathroom muscles contract. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep it hovering. Next, inhale, drop your knees, bend your elbows, arc the back, stretch from sternum to pubis bone. The reason why I have you bending your elbows is that otherwise you're going to get locked in your kyphosis in the upper back. Bending the elbows helps you open the chest. Exhale, contract the pelvic floor. Notice how my tailbone feels like it's leading. Round your back, lean towards your heels. Inhale, back into a tabletop. Curling the toes under if they're not, can lift and move back, downward facing dog. Just like your forward bend, the knee slits are pointing straight back, the ankles are not collapsing in or out. Feel free to bend the knees. You can still press your heels to the floor. Try to avoid rounding the upper back. Breathe. All right, inhale through the nose. Exhale, come back into that hovering table. Hold it. So again, I'm trying not to drop. There should be no pain in the lower back. Inhale through the nose here. Exhale, drop your knees. Inhale, bend your elbows, cow's pose, stretch it out. Exhale, lifting through your deep core, lean back. And then spring your right foot forward. Back knees on the floor, rolling up off the mat. Again, the tighter my psoas hip flexors are, the more crooked my hips are going to be. So I can either just let my body be that way, which happens a lot in yoga, or I'm going to start to realign and create new pathways in my tissues to create a better roadmap for my body. So front foot slightly forward of the knee. Feel free to pad the back knee. That knee might be tender because your quad is tight though, so recognize that. All right, slowly come forward, keeping the back heel straight behind the knee. So as I keep an external rotation on my front thigh, not only are you going to have a better stretch on my groin and quad on the opposite leg, but I'm going to feel work through my hamstring and my glute on the front leg. Then extend the opposite arm up overhead. You can go for double. I'm going to keep my hand rolling my thigh out to keep the stretch in the groin. Relax the front ribs. Inhale through the nose, lengthen internally. Exhale through the nose. Exhale, drop your hands to the floor. Walk your front foot a few more paces forward. Flex the foot. And then again, move the right hip back without letting the foot turn out or go crooked. Inhale, draw length into your spine. Notice how my length moved more up, out on an angle rather than down towards the knee. Because just because my nose can hit my knee doesn't mean I change the length of the tissues in my back and in my hamstring. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Inhale, push forward, runner's lunge. Lift your hips up, step the foot forward into standing forward bend. Feet again are sit bones distance. Ground through the feet, thigh bones roll out slightly, back to the knees, point back. Lots of length in the spine, feel free to use your blocks. All right, we're going to use core pump to come up. Bend your knees. Now imagine you had a ball between your thighs and your belly. If you've done this before, feel free to grab that small ball. And now using your core, let your upper body be limp. This is really good work for your fascial tissue. And on the count of 3, you're going to use your core to spring yourself up. 1, 2, 3. And then hips come forward, arms extend up and back. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart. So that lift is not a controlled lift. So if your head is guiding you, you're trying to control it. This isn't like a yoga traditional bend. All right, on the top of the mat, nice and tall. Inhale, pelvis is in neutral. Feel free to fist the sacrum. Otherwise, little contraction in the glutes. Bend in the knees if necessary. Extend. Exhale, fall towards the floor. Inhale with your bent knees. Step back with your right foot now. Feet are hips distance. Modest stride. Back foot is straight forward. Outer edge of the foot parallel with the mat. Using the strength of your deep core, contract and lift yourself up. Functional warrior 1. Square the hips, recheck the back foot. You might feel a little pigeon-toed because you're not used to neutral. Level and square the hips, arms extend up and back. Drop your shoulders and breathe. Breathe. Focus on lots of length through your right hip socket. Exhale, hands to your heart. Keep your front knee bent, step up into chair pose. As you sit into chair, hinge back. Pelvis is in neutral but on an angle. Contracting through the pelvic floor, then the glutes contract. Back body is not rounded or tucked. Keep the length and breathe. Pressing your palms, cactus arms. As long as you can keep the ribs down, slide your arms out alongside your ears. Make a fist, and now as you press your thumbs back, do not drop your ribs out. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, step back now with the left foot, modest stride. Back foot lines up so that it's straight forward, outer edge of the foot parallel with the mat. Ground through the feet, strong core, lift yourself up. Square it off. Level the hips. Now the tighter my groin, calf, lower back is on that back leg, the more I'm going to be pulled off and crooked. So you have to pay attention to that. And then either one or both arms. Heel to floor, shin to calf. Keep moving the outside edge of your left hip forward so you're totally level or neutral. If you have any sort of SI joint issues in the lower sacral area, you really got to pay attention if you're really trying to keep your hips neutral or not. As I lengthen through the arms, the more I work my ribs down and lengthen through my back body, I'm going to get more length in my lower lumbar, more strength in my core, and I start to rehab some possible shoulder issues. All right, hands to heart. Exhale forward flawlessly. Sit back. Pelvis is leaned back. Pubis bone is angling between the legs. Contract the bathroom muscles as you press your palms. Either hands at heart, go cactus palms in without flaring the ribs, or slide them out as you sit back. Make a thumb, press the arms back. Just because your body goes there doesn't mean it belongs there. Focus on form and function. Hands to prayer. Inhale, waving forward. Use some core strength. Extend yourself up and back. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer. Awesome. Readjust yourself, mountain pose. Feet are sit bones distance, plugged in. Check your neutral. Inhale, wave up and back. A little bit of glute contraction. Exhale, drop it down. As I lengthen into forward fold, I'm focusing on extending in my hamstrings, not rounding in my back. So extend out through your spine, use your blocks if you need to. Bend your knees now, step back with the right foot. Again, modest stride, feet are hips distance, outer edge of the foot parallel. Use your core like a springboard, bring yourself up. And now square off the hips, lengthen the front leg. So my front foot is going to be grounded, okay? Adjust your stride. You might have too long of a stride. Level and square it off. Front knee is going to stay long, not locked. Foot is plugged, quad is active, hips are square. Exhale, bend the back knee, hinge at the hip line. So here we are in that hamstring again. I'm not rounding my torso. I'm stretching my calf and hamstring. Foot is plugged in. Core is strong, bring yourself back up. So I have glute strength, pelvic floor strength, core strength. Square it, exhale. Keep your front knee nice and long and back knee from collapsing inward. And then again, core strength, lift yourself back up. Exhale. And back up, inhale. Keep the front foot plugged. New pathways for your tissues. So if you're familiar with standing head to knee, just a little bit more of a functional version. When you pulse the tissues like this, you're going to get more blood flow, which is always a bonus, and a lot less likely to lock. Quad is strong, foot is plugged in, hip is back. Strong core. Whoops, I didn't say I was perfect. 2 more. Exhale. And inhale, back calf is getting some length too. Keep the heel down. Last one. Again, I'm not rounding in my spine. Bring yourself up. Nice job. Step up, mountain pose. Plug the feet down mindfully. Inhale, functional extension. Exhale, drop it down. As I lengthen into forward bend and start to appease my hamstrings, I'm going to keep that neutral in the legs and lengthen out my spine. Pick up through the ribs. Pick up through your breath. All right, hands to the floor, bend your knees, step back. Left foot, feet are hips distance. I'd rather have your feet go wider than too narrow. Outer edge of the foot, strong core, bring it up. I have good core and leg strength. Square it off, level. My front foot is active, especially in the ball of the foot. As I most likely roll my thigh a little externally, the back of the knee is pointing straight back. All right, back heel stays plugged down. Feel free to shorten or lengthen your stride. Functional hamstring stretch. Exhale. So you can see my heel is lifting. I'm actually going to step up just a little bit. All right, here we go. Exhale. More is not always more. And then strong core. So glutes, pelvic core. Pelvic core. Pelvic floor, deep transversus diaphragm. Exhale. Keep the back knee from collapsing in. And then again, strength as you lift. I tend to veer away from wide arms, flat back, because most people associate that with flat back, like more of a vinyasa practice. So we pretty much know back muscles and tight hip flexors. But here, when we are lifting, we're trying to lift with the internal muscles with a long spine. So sometimes just new language can help change your mindset. I'm using my hands in my hip folds, strong on the lift, to keep my hips going the direction I want them to, which is squared. If I let the tightness take over, most likely my front hip's going to bop out and my back knee is going to collapse in. So learn your roadmap. Which way does your body go? Try 2 more. Exhale. Keep the front foot anchored. Last one, exhale, which might be the biggest challenge of all. And bring yourself back up. Nice job, step up. Feet come sit bones, distance, neutral pelvis, bring it up and back. A little bit of core strength here. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, bend your knees, lean into your palms, step back 1 foot at a time into plank. Breathe, fold to the elbows forward. Now inhale, turn onto your left palm, fold to the elbow forward, really important, because that's going to set up your shoulder socket. Stack, stagger, or take a knee. Extend the top arm, no gripping in the toes. Stack your hips so you can feel the bottom oblique lift and contract, and then press through your top foot to stretch the top oblique. Exhale, slowly roll down, plank. Lots of length, inhale. Fold to the elbow forward, turn away. Woo. Stack, stagger, or take a knee. Keep the hips stacked to feel the oblique contract. Exhale, dive the top arm down. Drop your knees, bend your elbows, inhale, cow's pose. Exhale, contract the pelvic core, anal sphincter. Start to roll your spine as you lean back, pubis bone to nose. Bend your elbows, inhale, cow's pose. In your cow's pose, exhale, shoulder to hip, stretch, look over that shoulder. Inhale, come through center, gentle cow, and shoulder to hip. Inhale, come back to center, Walk your knees a little bit further back, sit back onto your heels, stretch the spine. Inhale, walk your hands to the right, press your hips to the left. Inhale, coast through center, hips go to the right, stretch your arms to the left, exaggerate the length of the right side of your back. That's the stretching side. Inhale, come back to center. Imagine someone having a paddle at your bottom. Bring yourself up with some good core strength. Nice long spine, curl the toes under, fold to the elbows forward, lift the knees 1 inch up off the mat. Now on your next exhale, like I had a rope or a strap underneath your belly, not your shoulders, lift and move back into down dog. So rather than thinking of pressing or pushing back, float back, core strength. Fold to the elbows forward, stretch the shoulders, relax your head. Again, even if I bend my knees, I'm going to keep my ankles from collapsing and try even to lift my toes. Exhale, drop your knees to the mat, cross your ankles, and take a seat. Great work. All right, come onto your back. Grab your block and slowly lower back. All right, as you lay yourself onto the floor, we're going to do a little bit of core work on the mat. So I really want you to be cautious that your pelvis stays under control and you stay in neutral pelvis. What is neutral pelvis? Pubis bone, hip bones run parallel with the ceiling. Re-broaden your upper back to help the front ribs relax down. Now, if your shoulders are really far up and forward, get something underneath your head, maybe even underneath your upper back, so that the chin stays neutral and the shoulders are able to fall open. So again, if you have kyphosis, please address it, because you're going to find that you're just constantly over-tightening those already tight muscles. All right, pelvis is in neutral. Extend the opposite. Let's go right leg. I'll do opposite. Pelvis stays in neutral. The curve in the back stays present. Feel free, if it's helpful, to maybe set a little folded strap or something underneath there, and if you press into it, then you know you're losing neutral. Why do we want to work into neutral? Because when we're on our back supine like this, and we press our back into the floor, we overuse our hip flexor psoas and underuse our core and even our quad, which is part of leg lifting. And so I want you to try to really build that neutral, which is then what I call 360 core. We're using our back muscles, obliques, front, and deep core, which is essential for our body. All right, so with the opposite knee bent, push into that foot, keep your hips level and neutral. Contracting the pelvic core, relax your shoulders, palms face in, lift the straight leg 1 inch up off the floor. So if you touch your abdomen, it should have contracted or toned. Drop and relax the shoulders, breathe. Flex and reach through the heel. Again, no hip flexor. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Now we're going to pulse the leg up and down about 5 inches, 20 times. Here we go. Try to stay as steady and stable as you can in your trunk and let the leg do all the moving. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Keeping the leg reaching out away from you, slowly take hold of the opposite knee. Now, as you bring that knee into your chest, imagine your bottom leg detaching from its socket. So inhale, exhale, pelvis stays neutral, it does not go crooked. And then slowly stretch that leg out. Let's try the opposite side, neutral pelvis, bend up the opposite knee. The heel is not tucked tight into the sit bone. It's at a modest distance. Hips are level. I'm going to try to keep my torso as steady and stable as I can. Flex the extended leg. That's helpful. Keep your hands on your pelvis and lift the leg barely. Again, contract. Think bathroom muscles. Think all the way up to your ribcage diaphragm. Shoulders relax. If you are noticing hunching, your body right now is getting a signal from your brain that's saying, use your neck and chest muscles, because it's what you've always used, thinking you're using your core. Back off, get some support. Inhale through the nose. Now we're going to pulse 20 times. Here we go. Keep it steady. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Keep reaching. Gently guide the opposite knee in. Hamstring or shin, or use a strap. If you're using a strap, you're just going to hold that strap tightly and basically use it like an arm extender. And then extend that leg out, full body stretch, turn your palms away. Now let your back arch. Arms down to your sides, relax your ribs, bend your knees, and slide your block between your thighs. If you don't have a block, roll up a towel or use a mini ball. Pelvis is in neutral, back is broad, heels are not too close. I cannot touch them with my fingertips. Why is that important? Because if the heels come too close, you're trying to open a hinge that's already hinged the opposite way, which can definitely wreak havoc on the lower back, and you're going to limit your hip flexor lengthening, and that's not what we want to do. All right, hug on the block. You're in a nice neutral. Feet are parallel. Feel free to have someone check or maybe inch your toes up to the edge of the mat. Now in a nice exhalation, we're going to lift in neutral. So exhale, lift yourself up. Keep hugging on your block, chin slides to your chest. Pelvis is in neutral. Now as you hug on the block, if you're used to splaying the knees out to get higher, you're going to start recruiting better hamstring and glute work and opening the front line of your body, which is what we want to do in bridge pose. So arms can stay broad here, chin at the chest, or you're going to wiggle your shoulders under, create a little pedestal, and anchor your arms into the floor. Keep hugging your block, which you should notice better glute strength. We need our glutes. They're the shelf for our lower back. Inhale through the nose. Focus on breathing wide into your lungs. Exhale, push down into your big toes. Inhale, lift your heels, broaden your back, roll it down, kind of like the bottom of a rocking horse. And then release your block from between the thighs, slide it under your sacrum at its lowest level. I like a 4-inch block, but use what you have. Phone book would work too. All right, level out the pelvis somewhat, relax the front ribs, slide again. Right leg out, left thigh or shin. As you gently guide the knee and keep reaching out with your bottom heel. Imagine taking Barbie and pulling your leg off, but keeping your pelvis in place. Inhale through the nose and exhale. We're focusing on socket length. If you have lower back pain, something's not right. Either drop it down, you're too high, hip flexors are still too tight for where you're at, or try to let out on the bent knee. And then slowly drop that foot, bend the opposite knee up, slide the other leg out, level it out. As I guide the knee in, now if you're feeling pinching, that length, that psoas will just lengthen, just roll the thigh muscle out a little bit, kind of re-guide your tissues. All right, grab hold, shin or hamstring. Keep reaching out through the heel, toes and knee to the sky. Now if you're noticing your knee is bent, quad and groin is probably really tight. So feel free to come off the block and just work on the floor. I do this one a lot at home. I had a baby about 8 months ago, so I'm really working on rehabbing my back and my hip flexors and my core as much as I can. So inhale through the nose, focus on socket length. Exhale through the nose. And then slowly let that foot out. Bend both knees, lift your hips, bring it onto the mat, both knees into the chest, rock side to side, give yourself a nice hug. And then dropping both feet to the floor, move your hips, I'll go the same side as you, move your hips to the right and extend your left leg out. Bring your right knee up to a tabletop. Now guide the leg across. As you guide the leg across, use your block or blocks, I'm going to use my toe to start, to lift and shift the hips so they're stacked, hip on hip. That way there's no SI joint issues going on. Use your elbows on the floor and try to bring your upper back down to the mat. so that the bottom of the rib cage scapula is on the floor, especially on that right side. Now use your block to accommodate the knee and ankle to the appropriate height to keep your upper body down. There has to be an anchor point in a twist, and for a reclined twist, the upper body works really well. And then as those mid-back tissues release, basically bottom of the rib cage, top of the sacrum, so mid-lower back, you're going to find that you can adjust the leg. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Now every so many breaths, use your elbows, retwist to bring that right rib and right scapular on the floor. Full rotation with the head and neck. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Now slowly back to center, use your toes, lift your knee, and then bring the leg back to center, give it a little hug, you're going to be crooked. Adjust, hip swing to the left, slide the right leg out, get the upper back as broad as you can, block is ready, lift the knee up, and then bring it over. Now once it's over, again, my sacrum is laying on an angle. I'm really going to wreak havoc on my SI joint, especially if you already have SI joint issues. SI joint is the vertical joint on each side of the sacrum, sacroiliac. All right, bottom hip has to scoot back. Now you can see I'm much more stacked. This is my tighter side, so bear with me. I'm going to use my elbows to readjust the upper back and keep doing that to bring my left rib and left lung, left shoulder blade onto the floor. You may need to stack the knee higher. If your hip and your spine is really tight, we're looking for a true back body stretch. The floor is not the goal. I don't care if you ever touch the floor. I want you to have that goal be to really release the back body tissues and just keep adjusting. Arms can go cactus or to T-palms, up preferably. Full rotation in the head, neck, and eyes. And then again, trying to readjust. Just get that extra little bit down as tissues start to release. And then inhale back to center. Bring the leg back around, square the hips, give it a nice little hug, and release. Readjust the hips, extend the legs one to each corner of the mat. Turning your toes vertical, exhale, internal rotation. Touch the toes and knees towards the midline. Inhale, external rotation, pinky toes to the floor, then relax the legs. Arms out away from the pelvis, palms face down, exhale, press. Inhale, turn the palms up. Close the eyes and let your body drop into the earth. Inhaling and exhaling, calm breath. Back to me now as you move your fingertips and toes. Gently guide your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Stretch the lower back. Move the sitting bones. Drop your knees to one side. Use your top hand securely. Roll yourself up. No neck strain as you come to a seated position. Great job. Every little bit counts. And so as you come to the mat, hopefully you're expanding your awareness of your body and movement so you're better able to move during the day. From my heart to yours, from my soul to yours, check out my website, corefitness.com, and I can't wait to see you again. Namaste.